Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Wednesday, and all of our guests today brought to you by our title sponsor, Able Auctions, ableauctions.ca. Exciting times for hockey in Utah, Rick.
Yes.
The Utah Hockey Club alive and well, and joining us now, Utah Hockey Club GM Bill Armstrong. Thanks for doing this, Bill. How are you?
Anytime, gentlemen. Glad to be on your show. Excited.
We I bet you are. And as a matter of fact, we understand that a name for your team has been selected, and I understand that you're going to announce it on our show today. Is that right?
Well, you guys are one of the biggest shows, so I was. We were definitely you were definitely in the running.
Yes. maybe next time. You drop 4-0 decision to the Senators last night. Sorry to bring that up, Bill, but was that more about your team or more about the Senators?
Well, we're young. I said this when we came into Utah, we're going to have nights where, we just absolutely look like we're going to win the Stanley Cup, and then we're going to have nights that we look awfully young. And last night was one of those nights where we came out, we put 8 shots on the board, had all these quality scoring chances, kind of dominated the first period, and for about a 10-minute stretch, we went to sleep, and they scored 4 quick ones, and we played the rest of the game. We played actually pretty well too. So I think that's we had an emotional win against Boston a few nights before that, and I think our team has got to kind of be a little bit more consistent with their emotions. I think we got too high on that night, and weren't ready when the puck dropped to play 60 minutes.
What makes you confident? NHL hockey and the pitchers from Utah, but I've never been there, but the scenery looks incredible. What makes you confident that NHL hockey is going to work in Utah?
Well, there's a hunger for hockey here. Number one, I think it's just the setup downtown. Them already having an NBA team. Them, as a community wanting hockey, and they show up. They have a saying here: Utah shows up, and the fan base has been incredible since the moment we've arrived. And I have a really good feeling inside that it's probably one of the loudest buildings I've ever been in. They love hockey. So when you're on the inside here and you realize how beautiful the city is, the mountains that surround it, Park City down the street, it's a great place to play hockey. I know our players are really enthused about being here.
Hey, Bill, one of your off-season signings was a guy named Ian Cole, played right here in Vancouver last year. Talk a little bit about how your thinking was in getting him, and how has he played so far this year? Well,
I think about 100 years ago, I ended up drafting him when I was with St. Louis.
Right.
So, I've always been a big fan of Ian, and he's just one of the guys that really kind of cements our backside. He's done a great job so far this year, and he's won 2 cups. We've added Stenlin and Sergachev into the mix too, and with Bortuzzo, all those guys along with Ian provide great leadership and kind of steady the ship when there's rocky times.
Bill, your trade of OEL to Vancouver, Garland, Guenther. Guenther's got 5 goals in 7 games. It seems like Garland's been playing great, Bill, by the way, last year and this year as well. OEL's doing well in Toronto, won a cup. Was that a trade, Bill, where everybody kind of got what they wanted? And, it seems like everyone's happy right now with that trade.
Well, I think, listen, when you do good trades, it wins for both teams. And my boss at one time was Doug Armstrong, and he told me if you do trades too well and you beat everybody you trade with, they stop trading with you. So you hope to do fair deals. You hope to do deals that work for both sides. And Connor Garland's a heck of a player. Oleo's gone on to win a championship, and we were able to shed some money in that deal and allow us to take on some bad contracts, which in turn allowed us to generate some picks. So, it was a win for us on our side, and I know it's those players have gone on to play well, and OEL went on to win a championship. So it looks like it's a win for everybody at this point.
You talked about young players. Your forward group with young players, Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, Barrett Hayton, and obviously Guenther. Man, that's a nice 4 young players to start with. All 4 of these guys that you can build around these guys for years and years, Bill.
Yeah, and it's been really it's been a good transition. We are young and sometimes, but we have a boatload of speed and skill, and that doesn't include Daniel Boot, who we drafted, who's going to be a high end forward for us, and also TJ Ginla that will join our team eventually, who's another good player. So we've added some good prospects coming down the pipeline, along with the guys that you see, on the ice. So it's something that, for us, I think we can compete in the present, and we're set up for the future. Obviously it takes a long time to be good in the National Hockey League, but if we do it right and slowly bring in good players every single year, we're going to be a champion. We're going to have a chance to compete for a championship at some point.
We're talking with Utah Hockey Club GM Bill Armstrong. You talk about young people, Bill. Your owner, Ryan Smith, looks like he skateboards to work. What's he like to? I know he's your boss. What's he like to work for?
Well, Ryan and his wife Ashley and SCG have done a great job here. They've built buildings incredibly fast for us, and they have plans to redo the arena and really kind of transform downtown with their plan. But he's been great. I don't know if you get a chance, but if you go on to the Jazz website or Instagram, it's got him going on the ice and skating. It's unbelievable. So he's a fun guy. He's somebody that our players really enjoyed meeting. He kind of injected a whole bunch of confidence with our players that things were going to be able to get done in Utah. The buildings were going to be built, and we're going to be a franchise that has state-of-the-art practice facility, and he's done nothing but deliver. I know our players are ecstatic about having him as an owner.
Hey, Bill, whenever everybody in the last, year or so talks about NHL expansion, they bring up Houston, the usual suspects. And one city they bring up in the last couple of months anyway is Phoenix. Can you envision the NHL going back to Phoenix and having hockey be successful there?
I do. It's the great people there. There's 5 million people that live in that town, and it's only growing. And I have a good belief that it'll be a good franchise in the NHL in the future. So, and I think Gary's always believed that. It took a turn of events, and Utah put it in a better light, and here we have another good franchise and a strong franchise in Utah because of the decisions. But eventually I do, obviously it's a higher pay grade than me, but you would hope it would go back at some point.
One more, Bill, if you don't mind. Just looking on your hockey DB page. Great picture, by the way. 89-90, you're with the Oshawa Generals. You end up winning the Memorial Cup. What was it like playing with a 16-year-old Eric Lindros back then?
It was the best. He oh my God, his work ethic was incredible. And I got to tell a quick story. So my job was, kind of the enforcer on the team and to protect him. And, I was 19 at the time. I was like 6'4", 220, and, a pretty big junior kid. And somebody had run one of our guys, and Lindros went in there and actually, was a tough guy in Cornwall. And Lindros went in there and beat the snot out of him. And I pulled Eric aside and I said to him after the game, I said, "Hey, I don't go around doing your job. Don't go around doing my job." So he was phenomenal. We went on to win a Memorial Cup. He was a big part of that. He had tremendous work ethic. He was a driver. And, we showed up to practice, in his stall. He had Nike stuff. All these companies were trying to, get him, and we'd raid his stall. And the good news is he was extra, extra large, which fit me perfect. So I had great clothing that whole year.
Yeah. Eric probably didn't know about that until now. He's going to give you a phone call, and you'll be in trouble. Hey, Bill, thanks. Sorry, go ahead.
He didn't, but he had a good sense of humor about it when we told him later.
Awesome. Bill, this has been fun. Thanks so much for this. All the best in Utah.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.